Amen.
We begin with prayers.
Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of leaders in parliament for the welfare of society, good of all human lives upon it, and the just government of its people, we beseech you to look with your abundant favor upon us, your servants, whom you have entrusted with the performance of such important trust in this community. Let your blessings descend upon us here, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our attention and deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this region and of those whose interest you have committed to us. Amen.
Amen.
We proceed to item number 2 on the order paper, communications from the chair.
Good morning, honorable members. I welcome you back to the plenary. I'm happy to see you again and to see you smiling. I just want to make one small communication that when we finish the plenary today, I will request members of the commission to stay behind for a few more minutes so that we can transact some urgent matters. I will also be requesting Honorable Fancy, when the commission stays back, to also stay behind, because the commission will need to interact with her on some matters. Thank you. May we proceed?
We proceed to item number 3 on the order paper, administration of oath.
Honorable members, I rise to notify you that Honorable Deng Alol Kuol, the new Minister for East African Community Affairs of the Republic of South Sudan, is present and would like to take his seat in this House. However, in accordance with Rule 5 of our Rules of Procedure, Honorable Deng Alol Kuol can only take his seat in the Assembly after taking the oath of allegiance to the treaty. Rule 9, Sub-Rule 2 of Annex 10 to the Rules of Procedure specifically states that when a new member first attends the House, other than at the first sitting of the new Assembly, the member shall be introduced to the Speaker virtually by a member of the Assembly who shall state the name of the new member. The Speaker shall then administer the oath or affirmation of allegiance to him or her. I therefore request any member who knows Honorable Deng Alol Kuol to introduce him to me to enable me administer the oath of allegiance. Did you get me, honorable members?
Yes, he's coming.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, he's coming.
Okay.
Yes, Honorable.
Who is the member that is introducing him? Honorable Gideon.
Yeah, right, Honorable Speaker. I rise to introduce Honorable Menga Paul, our new Minister of the East African Community Affairs, Republic of South Sudan. I submit to right, Honorable.
Thank you. Do you have the document that will help the honorable member to take oath?
No,
there is. Okay. Yes. Honorable Minister, please proceed. Is there a technical problem in Juba?
Put it on the screen.
Yes, it will be fixed. Let's be patient a bit. It will be fixed. Yes. Honorable Minister, may you stand up, please, and take oath.
but it is oh. Yes, okay.
You can read the Bible.
No, it's okay.
Which it will appear when you vote.
Give him the document. Is there a document? Yeah. The Honorable Minister, do you have the document?
We don't have the document, right, Honorable Speaker. The clerk said it will be play on the screen.
Where the screen is there. Where is it? Please. The IT people. Yeah. We beg your indulgence, Honorable Minister, for the IT system to be fixed. It's not there yet. It's not there yet.
Are you able to see me, Mr. Speaker?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Speaker, are you able to see me?
I see you very well, and you look very fresh, Honorable Dr. Ogut.
Thank you. Thank you.
Edina, what's going on? Honorable Minister, may you be seated until the IT is fixed. Honorable Minister, please take your seat until the IT is fixed. Take your seat.
They did not send
it?
But why didn't you send the document? I mean, you know, certain things are complicated and necessary. Should have sent the document.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Mama.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There is no quorum. Burundi, we are only two.
Why?
Honorable Mama Mo. Yes, Honorable Mama Mo. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so you are placing on record that the honorable members from Burundi are not around. Okay, you are compelling me to ask the clerk to ascertain the quorum before we proceed with any business. Okay, so the clerk, ascertain the quorum.
Honorable members, we begin with the Burundi. Where is Burundi? Can you raise your hands, honorable members of Burundi? We see. You can press the mic on in order for us to be able to see. Burundi. Republic of Burundi. You can press your mic. It seems that the Republic of Burundi is off. Move to the Republic of Rwanda. 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, 5. 5. Yeah, 4. Look at 5. 5.
6.
Okay, 6. Then the Republic of Kenya. Republic 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 6. Okay. 7. 7.
7. Republic of Kenya.
The Republic of the United Republic of Tanzania. Four.
Na mimi hapa. Four. Five. Happiness.
Okay, thank you very much. Five. The Republic of South Sudan.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Tanzania.
Okay, seven.
Tanzania.
You are at seven.
Tanzania tuko 9.
Honorable Magembe, you wait until you are called.
Okay.
It's not a scramble. Yes, you wait.
Madam Kimbisa.
The Republic of South Sudan. One.
We are all present.
They are all present. 9. The Republic of Uganda. Only 2.
Three.
Okay.
Three.
3. Now we go back to the Republic of Burundi. The Republic of Burundi, please. Honorable members.
Iliyoko kwenye rules. Annex 7.
We are being informed the Republic of Burundi is disconnected and the IT people are trying to connect.
75.
Tanzania, you haven't called them.
Tanzania, we are done.
Tanzania, they are 7.
The Republic of Burundi, honorable members, can you raise your hands, put on your mic, so that we can be able to see you? I saw them.
Ndio yenyewe.
Okay. The Republic of Burundi, honorable members, can you raise up your hands? Put on your mic. Right, honorable speakers, we are waiting for the Republic of Burundi. The oath is on page 75 of the rules of procedure. If our IT people will be unable to display.
When the issue of quorum is raised, until it is resolved, we cannot proceed. It so happens that someone raised the issue of quorum, and the rule requires that we first ascertain that before we proceed. Which is why, honorable members, I think it's very important to calculate the timing of the issues we raise on the floor. Yes. When the item on the agenda is harmless, then you look at the best timing to raise issues. Can the IT people tell us what is happening with the connection in Bujumbura?
They are telling us there is a disconnection and that they are working to connect them back.
Can we call on the Republic of Burundi to raise up their arms and we ascertain quorum?
Here we are. We are.
Burundi is here.
I've written, we are here.
Okay. We have noticed you. Right Honorable Speaker, the House is fully constituted. We have quorum, we can start. We can proceed.
Okay.
And what had happened to the connection? Okay, thank you. So now we do not have issues of a quorum. Honorable Minister, you can proceed with the oath.
Just like this. Yeah, you can sign. Yeah, you can.
If the screen is not okay, Honorable Minister, proceed, please.
I, General Lord Paul, do hereby swear that I will give true and faithful service to this assembly, and that I will be faithful and bear the allegiance to the East African community, and will preserve, protect, and defend the treaty for the establishment of the East African community as by law established. So help me God.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, and congratulations upon your becoming a member of EALA and for being appointed to the Cabinet of the Republic of South Sudan. Honorable members, the new member is a very experienced diplomat and politician. He has been a member of South Sudan, a member of Sudan People's Liberation Movement. He has been a cabinet affairs minister of Republic of Sudan in Khartoum in 2005 to 2008. He was Minister of Foreign Affairs of Sudan, 2008 to 2010. Minister of Regional and International Cooperation, Southern Sudan, between 2010 and 2011. Minister of Cabinet Affairs of South Sudan in Juba, 2011 to 2013. Minister of Foreign Affairs of South Sudan, 2010 to 2018. And now Minister of East African Affairs of the Republic of South Sudan. So you can see that the new member is a big value addition to our assembly. So we welcome you, Honorable Minister, and we pledge to work with you towards our collective objective as the East African community. Congratulations.
We proceed item number 4 on the order paper, laying of papers.
Yes, before we proceed, maybe I can give a minute or two to the new member to talk to the assembly if he so wishes. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, members of the East African Parliament, Legislative Assembly, members of the Council. Good morning to all of you. I feel honored and humbled to be part of this distinguished community. We joined the East African community 4 years ago, but our participation in the East African community might have not been to our expectations and the expectations of the community due to a number of reasons. But now I want to assure all of you that we will be able to participate fully so that we build and develop this community to the expectations of the people of the East African community as our forefathers, the founding members of the East African community planned. We are going to meet our commitments and obligations to this community. It's our community, and we have to build it, we have to develop it, and we have to help our people in this region to achieve the goals and the dreams of the leaders and the people of this region, of this community. Again, I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and I want to commit myself and my people and my country to participate truly and fully within the East African community. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your maiden address to the Assembly. We wish you well as well. We have not been lucky with your predecessors. Honorable Paul Mayom, who was a minister for a long time but never took oath to become member of this Assembly, and the minister, the immediate predecessor who passed on, may his soul rest in peace, before he could take oath. So we haven't been lucky in the past, and we are happy to see you taking oath to become a member of the Assembly. Thank you. Now, Clerk, you can go to the next item.
We proceed to the next item, laying of papers, report of the Committee on General Purpose of EAC, vote on account for the first quarter of the financial year 2020-2021.
Chair, Committee on General Purpose.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to inform the House that on the 12th of August 2020, the Chair Council presented to the House the EAC budget estimate for the financial year 2020-2021 and a request for vote on account, which you refer to the Committee of General Purpose for consideration as per the requirements of Section 4 of the EAC Budget Act. You further directed the Committee, Right Honorable Speaker, to consider the request for vote on account on the 13th and 14th of August 2020 and report back to the House on the 17th of August 2020, which is today. Right, Honorable Speaker, I regret to inform you and the House that the committee is not in a position to lay the report today for the following reasons, and the one on vote on account. Right, Honorable Speaker, the vote on account request that was presented to the House did not have the specific costed activities to be funded. We requested for this information from the relevant heads of organs and institutions several times during our scheduled allocated time of the 2 days, but there was no single head of the institution or organ by the close of our 2 days that you gave to us that had furnished us with any information regarding the details of expenditure that they wanted for the vote on account. Second, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee's mandate in that to scrutinize the budget and present a factual and evidence-based report that is to guide the Assembly in making informed decisions. In light of the above, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee would like to request this Assembly for 2 extra working days to be able to conclude on this assignment and report back to the House on this report, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to submit.
I will request your assistance on how we proceed, honorable members. Is it a debate or is it? Well, I'm being invited to rule on this, but I'm not going to rule until I hear your views. Honorable Dr. Oburu, Honorable Rose Akol. Is there anyone else wanting to speak?
Here,
Honorable Kennedy Kalonzo. Honorable Dr. Makame. In that order. Dr. Oburu. Honorable Denga will come back to you. Dr.
Yeah,
Oburu.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I must first of all express my disappointment at the report by the chairman of General Purposes Committee for not reporting back, because we recall, Mr. Speaker, in our last meeting, you had directed first that we give them 1 day to complete, but they requested for 2 days. Now, Mr. Speaker, the matter we are discussing before us today is an urgent matter. It is an urgent matter because the whole community is almost coming to a standstill. I know, Mr. Speaker, it is not our fault. It is the fault of others. But then we also have to perform our function and our duty. We have to make sure that this process is not unnecessarily delayed, because it is the budget is going to be scrutinized by the General Purposes Committee, where they will go through all the details and items of the budget. What is being requested for here is just 1/3 of the budget to enable the community to function. If in the process now of scrutinizing the budget, they will find loopholes, then they will, of course, bring them up, and we shall deal with the matters as they come, because this is just 1/3 of the budget, and in many countries, the vote on account is not something which is discussed so much in details, because everything which is in vote of account is going to be discussed in the main budget. So, Mr. Speaker, I really, I'm very reluctant to give that we give the committee again another 2 days to scrutinize the budget, when the scrutinizing of the budget is not the issue. This is just a vote on account, which is to take care of urgent matters of the community, so that the community can move as we scrutinize the budget, the main budget itself. So, Mr. Speaker, personally, I'm very reluctant that we allow the committee to have another 2 days. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Oburu. Next was Honorable Rose Akor, then Honorable Kennedy Kalonzo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to refer to the comments I made last time we met. That was on 12th. I had requested that in order for the committee to come up with definitely a debatable report that the Council of Ministers provide them with the required documentation for them to be able to execute their work. Secondly, Right Honourable Speaker, for us to have a debate as an assembly, the purpose of laying the budget estimates on the table was for the information of the assembly. And of course, we also needed copies. I know we are in a very difficult situation. We are not physically together. But it is also possible, as much as we are not physically together, the budget estimates should have been communicated, even if it is a summary or whatever. They have been communicated to also other members, such that even if this committee was ready with this report today, and we had not received the budget estimates, the copy, the documents that were laid on the table, that's the supplementary, the vote on account, and
Honorable Rose, before you proceed, I want to clear that first. I think we directed that the documents be circulated. So, Office of the Clerk, what happened?
The Right Honourable Speaker, the documents were circulated and for members for use.
I mean to all members. We said to all members, not just members of the committee.
I beg cross-check with that information and revert back to the House.
Honorable members, did you receive the document?
No.
No, we haven't received any document.
No, we hadn't received.
Yeah,
No.
So the Office of the Clerk, there is nothing to ascertain. We directed that you send all the documents to all members, and you did not do that. So that is not in order, and you have to do it immediately. Is it understood? Office of the Clerk, is it understood?
It's understood, Honourable.
We don't expect this complaint again. Honorable Rose, can you proceed, please?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for that clarification. So it is true, members have not received the required documents, even to facilitate debate by the Assembly, because the committee does work on behalf of the Assembly, and then we also look at it and give a meaningful debate when we have detail. So on that matter, Right Honourable Speaker, as much as the committee, for other reasons, is not ready with their report, even the Assembly, I want to presume now, since we don't have these documents, is not ready for the debate because we don't have the detail we need to have a meaningful debate. So on that note, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to beg your indulgence and the indulgence of members, as much as we are really behind time, that one, as you've directed, we should get these documents today. Secondly, it's now obvious that actually the committee needs to be given more time. As the chair has presented, we didn't have, I think, the required detail and documents which they needed also to do their work. As much as the other time, that was the request we made, Right Honourable Speaker. So, yeah, to me, I think the debate collapses on those two technicalities, Right Honourable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I invite Honorable Kalonzo, may I find out from the chair, in my efforts to try and direct the debate in the right way, this information that you didn't get, you requested for it, right?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker, we did request for the information.
Did you get any feedback from the heads of organs or institutions?
No, Right Honourable Speaker, from our discussion with the clerk, because the documents were coming to the clerk, he informed me that he had not received any communication from any head of institution or organ regarding the details that we had requested for.
Yes, now I think one thing that we need to address as we proceed, how sure are we that even with the extension, the documents will be made available? Unless we know why the documents were not made available in the first place. Because we may as well grant a week and you don't get the documents. So I think the council, at some point, I will invite the council to make a commitment that the documents will be made available as soon as possible, depending on what we decide. Honorable Kennedy.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I am very concerned about what my chair for the committee has said. I remember in our last discussion you had directed the committee to move forward insofar as the vote on account would meet the minimum statutory requirements. So I'm understanding my chair to say that that is not the case. Right Honorable Speaker, it is alarming. We are a house of rules. We cannot condone the continual abuse of due process. I mean, this is a painful process for all of us, but we must follow the spirit and the letter of the law that is contained in our treaty and in our rules. I find that for the committee to present without the relevant facts is an abdication of its role. So with that in mind, Right Honorable Speaker, I find myself agreeing with the sentiments of Honorable Rose, and I hope this matter can be resolved and followed procedurally so that we get it out of the way. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kalonzo. Honorable Dr. Makame.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me time to air my views on this important agenda we are having before us. Mr. Speaker, but before I do that, allow me to convey my congratulations to the youngest member of the House who has just been sworn in, and to welcome him cordially to the House. We are very privileged to have him. We are quite optimistic that we are going to derive from his skills, his experience, and wealth of knowledge in this House. And we pledge maximum cooperation and support to aid his work. And after stating that, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to just go into the issue now. We are having the issue of the budget, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the reason why we went to the vote on account is because we wanted to actually enable the community to operate while waiting for the discussions on the main budget to take place. But as the things are going, Mr. Speaker, we might as well proceed on with the discussion of the budget rather than the vote on account from the things, how they're going. Because, Mr. Speaker, there are so many things which are taking place at the moment. What we managed to gather was documents which were prepared for the main budget and not for the specific for the vote on account. So what I can confidently inform the House is that the documents for the main budget of 2020-2021 have been submitted to the House. They were tabled and they were forwarded to the general purpose because I'm a member of the committee, and I can state with confidence again that we can proceed comfortably to consider the main budget. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, if we pass a vote on account, now, the vote on account today is 17th. We get more days as GP. Maybe the information doesn't come in. We'll reach end of August without the vote on account. So we'll have a vote on account just for 1 month. But if we just take at least 2 weeks as a general purpose committee, probably we'll have already scrutinized the main budget and the supplementary budget. So, Mr. Speaker, what I was thinking is if we can beg indulgence of your chair and also, Mr. Speaker, of the House, to have the Committee on General Purpose to discuss the main budget of 2020-2021 along with the supplementary, and then we just leave out the vote on account, but at the same time, to convince the House that because the budget lines for contractual commitments, such as salaries, such as electricity, they are clear. Maybe we allow the Secretary General to effect the payments for salaries, electricity, and all other statutory and contractual commitments which must be borne. I mean, even if the budget passes in December, but I'm quite sure the budget will pass very soon. It was just a technical delay, and we hope that I mean, after the 2 weeks, maybe which will be granted, maybe we will be in a place now to pass the budget, and the commitments will be now appropriated retrospectively. But maybe the SG and the clerk and the other heads of organs and institutions can start making the payments for the only contractual and statutory commitments. That is salaries, electricity, and others. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to submit my view. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Makame. But before I invite another speaker, I just wanted to strike a challenge from your contribution for consideration by other members as they debate this. First of all, I don't think we should make it a normal that the community can operate without a budget. There has been enough mistake of that. That is why we are where we are. But we should not normalize that situation. Two, when we pass a budget, but a budget must be accountable. So if we can authorize the Secretariat to pay salary to the people we have not given operational budget, then what are the salaries for, even if it is 1 week? Because it's as if the aim is just putting money into the pockets of people who have done nothing. Because if you pay someone whom you have not given money for operations, it's like saying you just sit down and wait for your salary at the end of the month. Whether it is for a week or two, that would be accountability in terms of budget. So it would be very problematic to say we can allow the community to pay, but we are not availing operations budget for people to work, for them to earn that salary that we are authorizing they should earn. So I think that is something you need to consider as we move forward. It doesn't matter how long it takes, but every single day requires accountability. And that has been a problem in the community in some departments. We give people budget for salaries, but we don't give them enough budget for operations. And the House has been complaining about that. So we cannot, or we should not, justify that or do the same practice through our budgeting system. But we can allow the community to pay salaries, but in the meantime, we have no money for operations. Who was the next speaker? Honorable Deng and Honorable Simon Mbugwa, Honorable Wanjiku, Honorable Oda. Yes, in that order. I will come to you, Dr. Mageme. Yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this debate. Let me first welcome our new member, our Minister, Honorable Denga Lor Kwal. Congratulations for joining, as you said, this esteemed House, and of course your reputation precedes with your wealth of experience and diplomatic experience within the region and internationally. That will obviously be a huge contribution to our agenda of integration in the region. So welcome. I'll be very brief, Honorable Speaker, because one of the points already that I wanted to raise was raised already by Honorable Rose. But just to comment on Honorable Oburu, who said that he's disappointed that we should have actually voted or completed the work on vote of accounts. Yes, indeed, what was given to us was the task to complete the vote on account. But with any task, especially when you're dealing with money, you still have to scrutinize what was given to you. The committee did not abdicate its responsibility. However, we did not have enough information, as has been already stated. Secondly, as you said just a minute ago, Honorable Speaker, and to quote you, that you cannot just allow money to be given without accountability. Now, this vote on account is only a third, which means we are looking at the first quarter, which is almost finished. There's only a few weeks left. So the need for these details, Honorable Speaker, is to scrutinize. Are there things that should have been done that hasn't been done? So what are we going to do? Fund it retroactively? So I think it's really important that we tackle these issues, especially when we're dealing with funds, and as you said, the issues of allowing funds to be paid without any kind of accountability is not acceptable. Secondly, we need to get away from unnecessarily delays. The Secretariat had time. Even the budget officer herself said that this vote on accounts was actually looked at sometime before the COVID-19. So why weren't the details availed if that is the case? So I think, Honorable Speaker, it is important, of course, that we move very fast, even if, as Honorable Makani is saying, that we give permission to the Secretariat to dispense with all contractual and statutory commitments. I think that also has to be appraised and it has to be approved based on information. So in order to save time, Honorable Speaker, maybe what we can do is give us just enough time to only look at the most urgent, which is basically the salaries, the contractual agreements that are in place, so that this vote of account can be passed. And then take the rest of the time, Honorable Speaker, so that we can look at the budget. The budget is already in front of us, but we cannot just allow things to be paid without any kind of approval. I beg to submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Deng. Honorable Simon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. First, I'd like to thank the new member and welcome him also to the House. Mr. Speaker, I'll be very brief because I think first your ruling is being taken for granted because you had ruled that all the members should be given documents, and that didn't happen. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm thinking that either your office is being taken for granted, or I don't know, or there's inefficiency in the office of the clerk. Mr. Speaker, there's no way we can pass a blanket document. We cannot pass a document without scrutinizing the content. Members have greatly suffered, and that does not mean that we just pass allowances for the members or emoluments or statutory deductions without scrutinizing what we are passing. So I think the committee, Mr. Speaker, should be given at least a week so that we can pass this budget and all the members, they get the documents so that we can go through them. Because otherwise, what would we be debating? We don't have any document. What are we talking about? We don't know any figures. So, Mr. Speaker, my request is first, the office of the clerk should take the issue of the budget seriously and make that all the members, they get the documents so that next time when we come here, we can be able to debate knowing the content of what we are going to pass. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Simon. I think the next speaker was Honorable Wanjiku, and actually I'm heading it towards conclusion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In fact, I'll be brief because I can only echo what the members who spoke before me have said. Just to respond, because I think for such a debate, it's always important if members of the committee, 2 or 3 of them could speak before, so that the other members can have some information. As a committee or all committees, it's their duty to have a credible report. And we cannot have a credible report without information. Honorable Speaker, the task of budget is a cardinal role to the Assembly, not only EALA, but all assemblies, even back at home. Budget is a specific role which is performed by members, and we couldn't and we shouldn't whatsoever deal with it in a casual manner that we saw from Secretariat, whom we even invited to one of our sitting, at least to explain the breakdown of the figures they had given to us. And all they could do is to ask the CTC to read for us the meaning of vote on account. Honestly, this is not taking the assembly seriously. We are paid by the revenue from our countries, and we are all stakeholders of this community. So it is important for every institution, specifically Secretariat, to take the task ahead of them seriously. Because when we ask for the breakdown, what is so difficult in that? In fact, if I may quote verbatively, one budget officer did inform the committee that the budget in front of us was made back in October last year. That is way before Corona was born. So things have changed. The circumstances have changed. If people are meant to travel, they can no longer travel. If members were meant to move from Arusha to another place, ticketing, all these things, honestly, Honorable Speaker, must have changed. And as such, we did even give Secretariat a solution in our discussion. We told them, if it is very difficult to have a breakdown of these figures, then go and make figures of statutory payments. Then bring us just as simple. For practice, or practically speaking, we wonder how they'll have an activity and be able to implement it with less than 4 weeks. Because today is 17th. By the time we finish this vote on account, it may be 20th or thereafter. So we have like 5 weeks remaining. This budget, they're asking for a quarter, 3 months. So if 3 months have lapsed, what activity will really happen within a month? This is something that members had to think and think loud and face Secretariat and ask them to justify. Honorable Speaker, I also wanted to comment on Honorable Dr. Oburu, who was feeling disappointed by the committee. I want to inform him that this is a special vote on account, since it's part of the budget which was made that time, and many things have changed. Unlike an ordinary vote on account, which we can just vote 30%, because the circumstances are the same. But we needed a breakdown, we will need a breakdown, but the question now as members of GP we are asking, even if you give us 2 days, what miracle will it be if in 2 days they were not able to give us the breakdown? Maybe there is a technical hiccup, they are not able to give the breakdown, or they are giving to the office of the clerk, and maybe the office of the clerk is not giving to us, which we highly doubt. But there is something, and money matters. Let me speak as a banker here. Anytime you see a transaction which is required to be passed very, very fast, you must think twice, and you must put on hold and question. And this hold we are putting, we are just asking for the breakdown. Fathers in the house, do you give your wives money if they ask $100 without questioning what the money is for? Maybe it's for the chama, it's for the children.
My wife gives me money.
That is why I'm not speaking of mothers in the house. I am specifically speaking of mothers in the house, because I know mothers will question even before you ask what the money is meant for. But I'm sure, because men are also assumed to be very good money managers, they also question, you need $100 for what? Maybe it's enough, maybe it is not enough. So really, Honorable Speaker, with all honesty, we didn't ask for very big, very it was just affordable. The questions are just manageable and within the circumference. Because like EALA needed $5 million. We were asking, what is it for? Just put for us $5 million because we want to pay A, B, C, D. As simple as that. But instead, they were telling us that they cannot get that breakdown because it is in the whole budget, which was made in October, and these were not adding. As I conclude, let me say that staff rules also supersede, it cannot supersede the acts of EAC. And Honorable Speaker, we have seen a very task which the clerk's office could not handle, of sending document to members after your office did speak of this. Now that the council chair is here, and now that the council chair is here and the new council, let me now put it for record that we need to follow rules, and we need to follow law, and even budget law and other guiding laws. Honorable Speaker, you remember in one of the commission, we did recommend to council that we don't want Clerk A to continue being the acting clerk.
Adonya.
And Honorable Speaker, respectively, CTC is paid by this community to advise the council. And he advised the council that staff rules and regulation supersede EALA Act. The commission is created by EAC Act. Staff rules cannot supersede. We have commission functions in Rule 83, which speaks in black and white that commission shall recommend. Shall, not will. It shall recommend to the council. Council chair seated there. See how you are misled by CTC, and see how CTC is misleading Secretariat, and see how Secretariat want to mislead the GP so that the GP can also mislead the Assembly. We cannot allow this. This is
Right,
the rule.
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable,
the rules say the debate should be relevant to...
Honorable Speaker, it is becoming...
Don't interfere with my...
Honorable Speaker, the clerk is not allowed to debate in any
And that is
parliament.
why this parliament is always treated
I am
unfairly.
guiding the House, honorable members.
Victor, please.
Speaker can
On
guide.
the chair. Speaker is on the chair.
Who
are you to guide the House?
Who are you to debate? The Speaker has know his role.
That is why these clerks are taking us for a ride.
And we have the rule of irrelevance. And if I'm irrelevant, the Speaker will rule me out of order. Allow me to finish my point.
Victor, I will ask you to walk out if you continue.
Yes.
Please, honorable members,
That is
all of
indiscipline.
you, please switch off your, mute your microphones, all of you.
Can I
Honorable
continue?
Wanjiku, can you conclude your debate?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. For purpose of guiding the council, who I believe, with all honesty, he has capacity, but he could have been misled. Article 49F does speak that commission or the assembly, and assembly works through commission, shall recommend.
But again, Honorable Wanjiku, can you direct your debate on this issue of the budget? You are a commissioner.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable
wait a
Speaker,
moment.
I'm aligning on the failure
Listen.
of the office of the clerk.
But you need to listen to me first.
His capacity, and we are here now because of failures of community. Like the Secretariat, we ask for the document, they fail, they can justify that vote on account can be voted blindly. You direct as the Speaker that the clerk send documents to all members. He's not even sure if documents were sent. And as such, I am reminding the Council Chair that Article 49F does speak that the Assembly shall recommend to the Council the appointment of the clerk and other officer of the Assembly. Why I'm raising this point is because this clerk that we recommended to be out, not to continue acting, was brought back by the council through an ad hoc committee of HR. An ad hoc committee is not a creation of any EAC Act. And this is why I want to make it black and white that most failures we are seeing here are deliberate sabotage or seriousness from the institutions which are leading us. So as I conclude, I am not also thinking that 2 days will make any difference if 2 days never made. And I would also go by Honorable Makame and Honorable Deng's advice that each institution do prepare a list of their statutory payment. And Honorable Speaker, statutory payment, even if staffs are sleeping at home, is not questionable. We cannot say that we are paying people who are not working. Even when you're on leave, you are supposed and you are entitled to be paid. So we are considering the time that we shall take on this vote on account, which will eat the time of the main budget, and look at critically where we are headed. Where are we productive? When we have the main budget or a vote on account? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Who was I think there is one more member I had. Honorable Order.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me also join my colleagues by welcoming and congratulating our new minister. We are happy to be with you. As Right Honorable Speaker said, We have been missing the minister from South Sudan, and we are happy to have you on board. Right Honorable Speaker, I'll be brief. I think for me, I consider seriously the request of our Committee on General Purpose, and I want to support their request of being given an extra days, reasonable extra days to finalize the work, more especially due to the reasons the chair, the able chair of GP has presented to us. And through the Chair Council, I would request that the Secretariat to help as the technical institution of this community to help ease this work. I believe that we need...
Just a moment. Who's
ndo walikuwa waenda wachukua hiyo physical document
whose microphone is that?
wa attach kwa ile form
IT. IT. Who is that?
Tume Nairobi, ndio huyo jamaa wa authority.
Yeah. Whose voice is that? Okay, I think it is off now. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I was saying that I believe that with the collaboration between our institutions, this work could have been even last week and been finalized, I believe. With regard to the committee we have put in place a few days ago, a few months ago, and the chairmanship of this committee, I believe this work was not, as other colleagues has mentioned, it's not, something very difficult. But sometimes we have rules in place, but we also need collaboration among our institutions. And as you guided, Right Honorable Speaker, in the last plenary, you clearly, again, though it was not the mandate to remind us, but you clearly again requested all the institutions. Most of us, I think, some of us, I would say, we have been also in positions where you go into the parliament to defend your budget. There is nothing abnormal by an institution going to the parliament to defend the budget. That is the procedure. So I'm not seeing where the difficulties are coming from any institution, including even EALA, not to be able to go to the General Purpose Committee and defend its budget. And now what we are talking about is 1/3 of the first quarter, 1/3 only, to make this institution move forward as the General Purpose is continuing to finalize the work and give us, as the members of the Assembly, to have a peace of mind and work on other activities of the Assembly. So I'm seeing here, Right Honorable Speaker, that we need to be frank to ourselves. We need to be accountable to what we are here for, and we need every person at the individual level, at the committee level, at the institution level to perform what we are supposed to be performing. So humbly, I would request through the council chair and my colleagues and the secretariat and all the institutions to make sure that let's at least this year move fast and quickly if we collaborate properly. And I don't see why this vote on account should be stopped. For me, I support that the vote on account should be put in, as it has been requested, to be discussed by the GP, but all the institutions, the GP to be given time to scrutinize it, but again to be given required documents as soon as possible so that they finalize this. Though we have MTF, I know very well people will be saying that we have given you MTF. We all know what MTF means. But the institutions which work together can help each other simplify the language of the budget, present that a certain institution needs 1, 2, 3, 4 activities. These activities are very important in this particular time, and the members will be able to discuss and deliberate on this issue and come up with the recommendation. If there is not anything which the institutions are pushing forward, the secretariat, the GP is not being able to pass it. When it comes to the assembly, that's why the assembly is here. The assembly is standing for all the institutions. It will look into it and finalize it. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to submit and request the collaboration and request the speed of this vote on account, and we pass the vote on account and we move to another step of our activity. I submit,
all
sir.
right. Honorable Minister, any comment on
Honorable
the
Speaker,
I'd
like to.
The Minister is on the floor. The Minister is on the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think having heard honorable members, I request the Secretary to provide the documentation required to pass this vote on account. I think depending on how many days you give them, definitely follow it up, make sure that they get the information they require to pass the vote on account.
So, honorable members, let us conclude this. Let us conclude this. Let us conclude this. I request you, because I know some members have another commitment that they communicated to us. Let us conclude this. We have. Yes, I'm suggesting that we conclude this. How many more hours do you want to spend here? Just debating. Yeah, because if it is you, another one, maybe, do we agree how many more hours do we need?
Like 5 minutes.
So let us conclude it then. Yeah. Let us conclude.
What I wanted to say.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to say something.
Yeah, but every member wants to say something.
Point of clarification.
When I'm sitting here, I can see how many members do want to speak.
Point of clarification.
All of you who wanted to speak, let me count.
Procedure, Speaker.
Yes.
Procedure.
Who is raising the point of procedure?
Procedure, Musamali.
Is it the Honorable Abdikadir?
Musamali.
Honorable Musamali, okay, yes.
Point of clarification, Right Honorable Speaker.
Procedure.
Honorable Musamali, please, I think it's not fine when I have appointed a member to speak, then you want to crash into that order and raise another point. Because it can't be two members speaking at the same time. So when I had appointed the Honorable Musamali to raise his point of procedure, it was not in order for another member to speak. Please, let us try to be orderly. Yes. Honorable Musamali.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this very matter, but the procedure issue which I am raising is that the members have had the opportunity which you gave us as the Assembly to debate this current position. And when you look at the debate, almost we are all in agreement that we need the time, we need the documents, and then the Chair Council has already pronounced himself and committed himself that he is going to compel his team to ensure that the Committee of General Purpose is given the necessary documentation to ensure that we debate and process the vote on account in a manner that is acceptable to the House. So the matter which I'm raising, therefore, it will not be procedurally right, Honorable Speaker, for us to continue debating when the Chair Council has already committed and guided on that matter. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Musamali. You have put it very well. And the debate has been very, very helpful. So, honorable members, I make the following directives. And when it is a directive addressed to a member of EALA, when there is no compliance, there can be consequences. The office of the clerk must avail all the documents today. That is one. 2, Secretariat must avail all the documents today. And the Council Chair has made that commitment. May I repeat? Secretariat must avail all the documents requested by the committee today. 3, the committee shall consider the request that you already have, that was referred to you on vote on account. Take all the circumstances that have been debated here, the time remaining, the most urgent needs, or Dr. Makame's suggestions, in as much as it has been enriched, consider all those factors and conclude the issue of the request of vote on account. I take into account also some communications I had with one chapter and about which you have some information. And based on that, we extend the time for the committee to continue working on this, and we shall convene here on the 21st at 2:30. So I adjourn the House until 21st, 2:30. Clear? Thank you very much. So as I requested earlier, members of the commission, I need you for a few more minutes. House adjourned.